So if you're anything like me, you have a big giant mess of stuff and you don't know how to organize it, and it's all over the place and it's driving you nuts. Well, I'm here to help you today with a special DIY I'd like to call the pyramid shelf, and it looks like this. Ta-da! Nice and organized. To create tiers for this pyramid shelf, you'll need several paper towel rolls, and I recommend paper towel rolls because then you can cut and snip them to the length of your desire. I have an example here of what kind of length I would like them to be and how long they actually are. Then you need to arrange your shelving unit. You can either do it as a square or as an actual pyramid, and I'm going for the pyramid style. But you can do the rectangle style using the same method, just rearrange the tubes. Next, what you'd want to do is score around the tube and then take a pair of scissors. Make sure you have an example of how long you want it, so use that as a reference for all the other tubes, so just compare it. Next you'll want to do is grab a pair of scissors and cut until the score, like you meet up with the score. Now, I started off with 3 scores, but I find that having 5 to 6 scores work better in terms of cutting it to the shape that you want it to be. So yeah, for now I'm just doing 3, but just snip away at that. Take your time and just make sure everything looks good, and then when you're ready, just bend back each section just a little bit and then cut it off. If you're done and the edges are messy, don't worry about it. You can just make a few snips. Always cut off like the edge a little bit thicker than it needs to be, so that way you can work your way down a little bit and just make it all fine and neat later on. So here are all the tubes. I know they're kind of stained looking from all the glue that's been on them before, but that's okay. So now you take a hot glue gun, make sure it's nice and heated. So next thing you'll want to do is get hot glue on your tube and then connect it to another tube like so. Just let it dry together and set it aside. Here I'm adding one more tube to the two that I've already made to make a 3-tube tier. So just add glue to that, and here you have it, 3 tubes. And then you're going to add 2 tubes on top of that and glue these 2 together. So if you only have a few supplies, 3 tiers is good enough. So you'll just need a tier with 1 tube, a tier with 2 tubes, and a tier with 3 tubes. But because I have a lot of supplies, I'm doing a 5-tier pyramid. So obviously this thing looks absolutely ugly, and I just at least want to make the sides look a lot better. So what I'm going to do is decorate the sides with scrapbooking paper. You can also use things like paint and ink or crayon, but I'm just going to use scrapbooking paper just because I have all this glue stick and I can. After you have placed glue to the very top of scrapbooking paper that you've measured to your pyramid, glue firmly at the top of your pyramid and hold it down securely until it is properly dry. So once you have done that, you'll want to take some more hot glue and secure the rest of the paper to the rest of the side of your pyramid. So just turn it over and move the paper just a bit and just add glue to each tier. So that's what you would want to do, sort of like how you did for the tubes and you were attaching them together. Now to make the other side look as cute as the first side. So I have a second sheet here and I'm just going to start gluing it down from the top and just making sure it's nice and secure and as straight as possible, and just add as much glue as you want. I like to keep my things super secured with the whole glue thing, so I'm just going to be super generous, which is why I barely have any glue sticks left. But ah well, to each their own. Haha! Now both sides are beautiful, but wait! I could always do the bottom as well, so I'm just going to flip this over and put some more scrapbooking paper there too. You can either leave it like this or add some glue to make the grip for the display a lot better, but I decided to glue it down anyways. So here's what I did. I took some more scrapbooking paper and just measure it to the size of the tubes, and I'm just going to glue it down as firmly as I possibly can. Also, the same paper I used to secure the bottom, I used to make trimming for the pyramid, plus add a little top to cover the seam. So this is what it looks like. Now I am making a backing for my pyramid by using some white bristol paper. It's actually watercolor paper, but you can actually just use any paper that you have available. I traced out and drew a triangle. It's a rough triangle, and what I'm going to do is just round off the edges and then add it to my pyramid. This is what it looks like attached to the back. It's not entirely perfect, but it'll do the job in holding everything together. I'm actually quite impressed with what I did with all the scraps and the junk that I've collected, but this is upcycling and it's supposed to be beautiful and creative, and I really do like it because it's lightweight and it has multiple spaces. So I'm just going to pop this onto the shelf, ta-da, with all my little supplies in the corner, and I'm just going to take my time showing it off. Ta-da! I'm so excited. And then I just had fun putting all the little markers and pens inside the holder. When all your small shelves are filled, it'll look like this. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Rate, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stuff by me.